Hey, everybody. Back when I started out blogging, and blogging was the way to get in front of people and build an audience. But we are in different times now. And in my opinion, what has really replaced the world of blogging has become social media. This is where we now post text to build an audience, build a fan base, build loyalty. Now, the big question is now, how do we take people from social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Reels, no matter where it is, how do we take people from there to now an ecosystem where we can offer them something, where we can have them purchase something, where we can build an even deeper relationship with them? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Converting your social following to a customer of sort, a student, a member, a client, perhaps. And we're going to do that with none other than our good friend John Hu over at Stan Store. John, welcome in. Thanks for joining us today.
You guys.
We have shared your story before on the podcast. We've gone deep there before, so we're not going to go too deep into that. But real quick, before we get into a little live demo on how, again, people can take their social following, maybe even YouTube viewers as well, and convert them into something and build a business out of that, where did this all begin for you in the first place? 30 seconds.
Yeah, quick story here, y'all. I was in your shoes like 4 years ago. I was like trying to figure out how I was in a corporate job doing a 9 to 5 thing, doing all the things that people told me to do that would make me happy, checking all the boxes, making mom proud. And I just kind of realized in that process that a lot of the stuff that people tell you to do, like I was working on Wall Street at the time, doesn't actually make you happy. At least I kind of looked at my bosses. I was like, I don't really want your life. You don't seem like you have a great relationship with your partner. And so in that process, I was like, well, I kind of want to work on something that gives me a lot of passion, fills me up, that I know I'm helping people and I get to be creative. And so come COVID, we're all doom scrolling on TikTok. I just started deciding to like post a couple of videos. And so my videos here, and we'll talk about my story in a little bit, was really around helping people get their first dream job, because that was just my story. Like, how do you as an underrepresented kid get that first dream job? And pretty quickly found myself with an audience because it was easy to make videos at the time. It's much harder now, and we'll give you guys advice on that. But then it was like, okay, how do I make a living out of it? And
Mm.
that's like the beautiful hard part of this. It's so hard to do that, but I think you guys have literally one of the best mentors in the game, with Pat. And so the story of starting Stan was just like, I wanted to make money for myself and do this for full time, and it was amazing. And so I built Stan, and now we have 65,000 creators using Stan, making a full time living for themselves. We just crossed $250 million made for our customers.
It's crazy.
So many cool stories and inspiring stories that I'm excited to share with you guys.
What was the hard thing before that Stan now solves for us?
Oh, it's just so painful to think about. So when I first started, I had in order. So y'all, the first thing that I sold was like a digital product. It was just my resume template. And I had to get a link tree into a course hosting platform that was like $200 a month,
Uh-huh.
into a Calendly I used to had to have, and then I had to build like a custom website on top of that, and then I had to get an email marketing service that was like way too expensive for how many contacts it stored. And then I also like was getting charged fees through Gumroad. Point being is I had 17 different things.
Mm.
And the reason I built Stan was twofold. There were two pieces of rationale as you guys think about optimizing your online business. One is, number one, like that was just a lot of money. It was like $500 to start. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like I can just code this together, and like it doesn't. For example, there are some services that charge you for the number of courses you host. Like that's marginal megabytes in a cloud. Like that's tiny pennies on cents. And I was like,
Hmm.
that's not fair that people are charging that. So it's first and foremost, like I was spending $500 a month. Stan is $29 a month. We're very, very proud of the value we offer there. But two, actually, I think is more important is imagine the customer flow right now, like how short our attention spans are on social media. Like imagine you're scrolling and then you actually are one of the few chances you actually go to someone's link in bio to load a link tree into like a slow loading website that's not mobile optimized, and then you have to go 3 steps to check out, and then it's super clunky. Like you're going to lose all your customers.
Hmm.
And so the other main reason why I think Stan really improved my own business is because it just improved my conversion rates. And I think those are the two main reasons why, but I didn't realize on the back end how much time and energy and hassle we'd save people too. So
Yeah. Nice. Well, this is going to be a great conversation. This isn't going to go for an hour. We're going to go through a little demo and show you how Stan is actually so easy to use and encourage you to get started with it. And you get a free month with us, which is pretty cool. So if you are at
yeah,
this point in the video and you're like, okay, I'm ready to check it out, there's actually a link here. If you go to smartpassiveincome.com/Stan, This is an exclusive offer through SPI to get a free month, which is really cool. So thank you guys for giving that to us to pass forward to our community here, because really we're trying to lower the barrier to entry. And you guys have tried to do that. We have tried to do that as well with the right information and not just cloud people's minds with like everything, but just what you need to get started. And I think this is important. A lot of people here, even in the chat right now, I know have an opportunity to generate some revenue that just want to remove the friction to do so. So that's why I really appreciate this. So why don't we dive into Stan and just kind of what it looks like? Again, the rest of this is going to be a demo of how this kind of works. And that way, when it comes to the point when you're ready to start selling a digital product or selling some of your time for coaching or consulting, like it's all built in there. And we even use it ourselves. I'm happy to go into the back end of mine as well. I use it even on Deep Pocket Monster. It's like a link tree on steroids, if you want to call it
Yep.
that, because it is, again, taking social media followers and people who are there to where we can now help them and give more service to them. So if you share your screen, John, I'll kind of toggle that. We can
Yeah,
get
let's
started.
do it. I'm going to share my screen here and show you guys the front end. Um, so, y'all, the way to think about Stan is it's just your link in bio. Like it's just like a link tree meets Kajabi or Shopify, what have you. You all can see my screen, right?
Correct.
Right here, basically this is my Stan store, y'all. This is everything that you need. So in this case, this is a demo Stan store on my account. You can do anything. So everyone can always start by offering some sort of advice. I have it sold out so no one can actually book me right now. But basically this is all you do here. You go in, you click this. Someone can book a time with me. It auto syncs to my Google Calendar. I put this in. I fill my credit card information if this wasn't sold out. I press book a call, and then boom, just like that, myself and my customer, I get the invoice, I get the payment, and then on their calendar as well is going to be is going to be like the actual Google Calendar invite. So the whole thing is automated here, and this basically just becomes the store view, right? So in this case, I'm giving out a freebie here. This is a content calendar template. You can just basically put in information. You guys can see how simple this is, right? I just click this button. Like imagine this on social. This is the desktop version, but you go in here, you're mobile optimized. You put in your account information, you press download, and bam, this goes right to your email inbox. It's piped into our Stan email marketing service that comes with Stan. You can do automated email drips, all that kind of stuff, and you can basically sell anything. Like this is an Ask Me Anything video where people can just pay you money for you to send them a video responding to their questions. And so this is kind of Stan on the front end.
Can I ask a quick question, John? Because I know how I felt when I saw this for the first time. I was like, okay, this looks easy, but it like the way and everything I'm seeing now, it looks like there's not a lot going on here. Can you talk?
Yeah.
Can you speak to that? Because the first time I saw, and by the way, this is on your website on a desktop.
Yeah.
This is really for the mobile sort of user, right? Because that's where most people are clicking from. Is that correct?
That's correct. So let's try to do this in mobile view here. So I'm sure you guys can still see my screen here. This is what it looks like on mobile.
On the
And
left
so,
there. Yeah.
yeah, the whole intention around how simple. So mine is like a demo store, right? They get way prettier. If you guys want something that's like way prettier, there's tons of different themes here that you can pick from. Here's a good example. But in this context, y'all, the reason why it's no frills, this is hyper intentional. We've A/B tested the crap out of everything in terms of maximizing your conversion, because the old model of like a website with a lot of stuff is no longer the model of the world we live in, especially if you're converting off of social, right? Your social account is your new profile. And so it's actually important now is to maximize your conversion, because you've already built the relationship with people up front. They already know who you are now in a way that your old website had to. And so what you have to think about and remember is like, someone's only going to visit your link and buy like maybe once, maybe twice if they really like you. And so you have to maximize your conversion on like having a really simple flow here where you just have, your standard checkout page, you have a couple of testimonials, and then you can immediately book through there. We found that that's worth that conversion uplift is worth any sort of trade-off and showing more frills. But obviously you can make it prettier. You can have different designs, all that kind of stuff. Like we have a bunch of different Stan stores with a bunch of different successful people. So with a bunch of different aesthetics. So
what about selling like a digital product, not necessarily your time for coaching? Although I think you and I both agree that something like coaching or consulting is probably the quickest way to generate a good amount of money kind of off the bat. But what about a digital course or something like that?
Yes. Let me log into a sample store here. So I'm actually going to try to log out of this one. Here, I'm going to do a new store window. You guys can still see my screen. I just open a new window.
We see the QR code still.
Okay, cool. That's actually a new security feature from our security team that is for us. So here we go.
Cool.
So now you
Bring
can
it
see
back.
my full screen. We're gonna go back here, and I'm gonna log into a sample store here. So imagine you're signing up to First Stand for the first time. You just go here. You'll have your information. You can see my screen, right,
Yeah.
Pat?
Yeah. I'm just clicking buttons over here and like surprising myself.
Um,
There we go.
oh, I'm gonna get a verification code. I will be 1 second. Sorry guys,
Security
this is just
features. Good.
this is actually you will not have this. This is actually a new Stand internal feature to make sure that our accounts are secure. Let me just sign up for a new account, and then we'll have to figure out what to do on this. Sorry guys, it's this literally
You
just
want to go into my screen actually?
yeah. If you could do that, Pat.
Okay, let me see how I can go there. And I think if I go here, you should be able to
Oh,
see mine now.
thank you,
So this
Pat.
is the Pat Flynn store. You can see mine on here on the right hand side, and we offer a start a business challenge, and this is a course that's literally hosted right here in Stan. Actually, we didn't need any other tools or anything to do this, and this is sort of like a good top of funnel lead magnet that we offer to get people who come from social to click on this to get a free course. Again, they don't have to go elsewhere to sign in or log in or anything like that, and they go through and we can already give some value and get them into our membership from there. But let's say we wanted to create one from scratch. Where should
And
we
this
go?
so this pad you're hitting on like the easiest part about Stand, right? So all you do is you click that purple button that says add product.
Yep.
And so in this context, these are all y'all, these are all the different options you can offer. So like before, once again, you had to have like a course website and all that other kind of stuff. If you just scroll around here, you see from Pat, like collect emails. So that's giving out a freebie or lead magnet, coaching call. That was the Calendly feature that I showed you. You do a full course, you do a webinar. There's so many different things. In this case, we want to sell, let's say, for example, a new ebook. So Pat will click that top right digital product
Yep.
option. And then from there, what you'll notice is, Pat can go in and any of these little sections are basically you can change. So Pat can change the title to how to win with webinars. I love that. Cool. And so y'all will see on the top right, everything just changes immediately. And so if Pat, you just click next here because you've already set
Today.
this today, whatever wording you release. So now we're at the sales page. And so Pat can change whatever he wants to on the sales page. The titles will change. We basically all our internal test for whether or not our stand is simple enough is like, can our grandmas use this? And I promise you, no matter how bad you might consider yourself with tech, just watching Pat just fill in really simple text boxes and seeing the web pages update, this is the definition of as easy as it can get. We can also you can have AI generate this for you. For example, if you already have social content on your social profile, when you log in and sign up for Stan, Stan will actually come in. Our AI bot Stanley will actually come in and scrape your whole social content so that it understands your voice, it understands what you talk about, what your subject is, and it can actually write all this stuff for you if you're not very good at copy. And then from here, you're seeing Pat change all this different kind of stuff. The price we're gonna set, we can change it to $123. You can add a discount code, payment plans, all that kind of stuff. All the stuff to optimize basically your sales over time, you can do here. And so, let's sell a $10 10-cent $9.99 digital.
Sorry, I'm just it's just changing and it's actually kind of fun to mess around with this. So
Yeah, it's fun to play around with stuff. And so if you just click upload, the last step here is if you just go to upload file, this is where you'd upload.
yep.
Theoretically, Pat would upload this ebook or whatever it is. Pat, if I don't know if you can just pick a random thing in your downloads,
I'm going
just to show them.
go here first, just in case, because I don't want
Just in case.
hypersensitive content to show up. All of our secret plans on the Pokemon channel. Let's see, what is this? I don't even know what this is. It could be anything. Right? I can. It looks like I can select a JPEG. Oh, I got something perfect. Okay. Let's go back.
So patches up. You guys see that in the. So that's the. So you can sell
NFT.
that. It's like a little NFT. Yeah, that's your NFT. I was just thinking. So Pat's selling his NFT, and so that's now uploaded into. And so Pat, if you just press publisher, just to show everyone how quick that was.
Okay.
So we're now officially sellers online. So if Pat clicks in the top right, stand.source/Pat Flynn, and you scroll down all the way to the bottom because Pat's already got a very full stand store, you'll notice that little thing that object we just created is now there. And so if Pat clicks in and clicks download now, how to win with webinars, theoretically, if I race to his stand store right now and put in my credit card fast enough, I'm gonna get that little GIF of Pat. So Pat, if you want to click download now just to show folks the sales page.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's literally word for word what hi Gonzo and everyone else in the chat. Uh, I mean that's literally what this is, and you just fill in the information, you press purchase, and like this, y'all, is the magic of Stan for your customer is you have to minimize the friction to purchase. So
Yeah, I mean that's what we're doing here. Okay, cool. What else could we create in here? Let's go down to add product just to kind of continue to show off
yeah, yeah.
what's possible here, because this is, I mean, hopefully everybody, this is pretty self-explanatory about what Stan can do for you. And what was the price point one more time, because it's kind of mind-blowing?
It's $29 per month for $29 a month for everything
For
here.
everything, and
So
that's it.
everything
There's
that you
no
see
like
here,
additional fees with more students or more emails or whatever. It's just
none
literally
of that
$29
stuff.
a month.
And also no payment processing fees. We're really, really proud of that. And I think
That's
someone was
wild.
asking me the other day why it's so affordable. And I think for me, it was just like what came up for me is like a personal story. I was like, you know, obviously like my mom ingrained it. It's like the immigrant American experience of like having very little, but it's just like the kid in me that went to Costco growing up where you would hustle for like 12 things of toilet paper and just like a good deal. Like that to me, it's like fundamentally me knowing how software works and having built it myself, it doesn't fundamentally make sense to charge people a lot of money for it. So
Hmm.
it's just about how do we increase the accessibility of actually starting as an entrepreneur. And I think the number one gating thing for me, even starting, was just cost.
Yeah.
And so, like, if we can remove that friction point, and then we can bring in folks like you and myself who can coach people and actually help them succeed in this really hard journey that we call entrepreneurship, that to us is our mission. So,
Good question from Chill Out and Cheer Up. Does this replace a tool like Kajabi per se?
um, it I'll be fully honest, it 100% does. It's the best way I'll put this is, um, every feature you see there for however many hundreds of dollars a month, go take a look at Stan in your free trial and see if Stan has it. I can tell you it does. But beyond that as well, one thing we're really proud of is if you look at Stan's success rates of people who make money on Stan versus any of the kind of legacy incumbents who have these big clunky solutions, our success rates are actually 2-3 times higher because we actually don't cloud you down or crowd you with all the stuff that
Hmm.
people kind of add this feature sprawl that they think is probably worthwhile, but we have a much simpler solution, and therefore it actually helps you focus on what actually matters, which is like making good content, and then you
Yeah.
can drive sales from that. So
That's cool. Another question coming in. Actually, can I bring in these questions? I think I can, just so that way everybody can see it. How is payment process? Stripe? Question
yes,
mark from
yes,
Michelle.
Michelle. Stripe, PayPal as well, if you want to use PayPal, and then we also have buy now pay later solutions as well. So if you're doing anything high ticket and you want to maximize your conversion, you can use those to actually bring people in on like a $2,000 or $500 price point item that you're doing.
Nice. Does it
Yes.
store your courses?
Yes, it does. Pat, I don't know if you want to share your screen. We can show people how easy it is to launch a course on Stand too. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, if you just click the course feature there, the flow is basically the same. If you just scroll down, Pat, and click next a couple of times, like folks have seen this. This is you set up your sales page and you
Sales
click next
page.
one more time. A course is really simple. So this is how you create a course here. You just have different modules, and then if Pat, if you just click into one of those lessons, you can add a lesson as well. All you do is just upload your video here. Like you just upload something theoretically, you put some text. You don't actually have to upload a video if you don't want to. You change the course text. You can also upload like supporting materials if you want to, like if you have like a PDF guide that comes with this specific lesson in your course. Um, then Pat theoretically has to do is press publish, and then this course is also hosted online on the internet. And we're going to teach you how to do good webinars. Theme of
Done.
today. But basically, yeah, I mean, so Pat's now finished his whole course there theoretically, and so that's all hosted within Stan. That's also as soon as someone purchases it, they get a login. That's a very unique login to only them. They are then able to access your course, all that kind of stuff. So that's all there.
Nice. Dude, that's awesome. People are really impressed with the price point. There's
Thank you.
lesson one: do good webinars. Also, do good grammar. Um, let's see. Does this replace something like Discord or a community forum?
Yes, it does. We actually, I like that I keep getting to say yes. That's very rare. Um, so we actually just launched our community feature as well. So usually you'd have to pay like another $100 for a community feature. There's, to be clear, like all these other solutions work. I want to be really, really clear. Like they're all solid products. we launched our community feature, which is basically like a school or a Facebook group that's hosted within Stan as well. So Pat, one of the other options there that Pat could have done was to launch a community. You can name your community, people get a login immediately. You can do recurring memberships on that. You can make it free.
Mm.
But that's basically, imagine it to be like a Facebook group.
Okay, so like a Facebook group. So if I mean with here's some stats from my store. In fact, if we go to the Pokemon one that I have, Deep Pocket Monster, you can see I have some stats this here. Analytics are great and always important. We'll see this pop up in a minute, but this is showing clicks from various places where I've embedded this quote unquote link tree, but it's Stan, of course. I'm not selling anything here yet, but I do attach to like a merch store, and I am building an email list through some lead magnets, like a spreadsheet of all the Pokemon, all those kinds of things. So it's very useful for this. And again, it just makes it easy and clean, which is really cool. So great. Awesome. Let's see. Can you upload and sell music? So that would
Yeah.
be a digital download, essentially, right?
That's a digital download. You can make it a course. Yeah. It's just whatever file y'all want to upload, whether it's like exclusive content of yours or additional content, or it's a guide or it's a course, like anything. If you think about y'all, the future of commerce is all the goodness that's in our brains. How are we able to package that into a product and offer that to people who want to purchase that? Whether it's
Mm-hmm.
through the lens of you giving time and therefore your advice, or it's like you doing the same thing but recording it and therefore selling it as a webinar. So
I like that. Michelle says, does it save all customer info so there's no need for a separate CRM?
yeah, it's you own all your data, by the way, in Stan. It's all saved in your customers tab and your audience tab. You can collect additional information. It's not like a full blown CRM, Michelle. If you have something that's like super complex, right? Once again, this is like everything you need and not any of the stuff that gets you stuck into things. But yeah, it has all your information.
Awesome. Somebody's looking to see what the community platform looks like. I think we could build one, but I'd like to, if you have an example, to see it from like a member's
Um,
perspective.
I
If we have
I'm
one.
currently locked out of mine. I apologize
Oh,
for that security update. So if we can just show Pat to the rescue on this one. But if you did go into the community here, if you wanted to start one, you can just go to the community tab and we can show people really quickly. So you can just
okay.
create this. So if we create
Oh,
this
create.
community right here, Pat, yeah, this is like the bare bones community, and we can take a tour. So
Oh,
this is
dude, I love walkthroughs, like when building stuff like that. That's really
yeah.
cool.
So this is like the most bare bones, and Pat can deck this out with his own brand scheme and photos, what have you. But basically, y'all, you have your resources tab. You can host products in there. You're gonna add links. This is basically your Facebook page. So there's not a single post. So Pat's gonna christen this community here, but everyone basically is going to get a login when they purchase or download your community here. They'll also see all your products as well, so you can upsell folks. And then there's also a separate one thing that we think a lot about is how do we keep your community engaged and retained? Because what
Hmm.
happens for a lot of community products is and just communities in general is like people will sign up, but then they won't stay around. And so we actually ended up building a mobile app for this as well. So there's a mobile app that folks can use in order to always stay engaged in your
Oh,
community.
no way.
So
Oh, that's cool. No additional cost for that.
no, no.
Does the $29 plan include the buy now, pay later option for people?
I think that one's in our pro plan, which is $99 a month, because those are more complex features. But how we think about the $99 tier is that's our pro plan. That one should pay for itself. I wouldn't recommend getting that until you're like really monetizing, because then you can actually take advantage of it. Which is there's a couple features that will actually maximize your conversions. One is the buy now, pay later, and then the second piece is the upsell mechanic. So basically, the order bump. That's like I realized like there are very few free lunches in the world. The order bump is one of them, and so we have that feature there where you can do an order bump when someone purchases one thing. It'll be like, wait, like buy now, like this one-time offer. And so stuff like that is on our pro plan, which is just like those. Once you're starting to make a couple $100 at least, then that additional bump in conversion ratio will pay for the pro upgrade.
Cool. Nice. I think we can spend just a couple minutes answering more questions. What's crazy is the demo is so short because you kind of know what
Yeah,
you're going to get already, which is really
yeah,
cool. And there's some questions. There's some people who are asking it in comparison to a lot of tools that we know, a lot of email service providers, a lot of community tools, a lot of all-in-one tools. I think, again, the whole idea here, especially being for the beginner who is just starting out, if you can
yes,
imagine how much cost all those tools would be to put together, as well as just ease of use and getting up there, I still can see a use case for starting with something like Stan if you're just starting out. And then if you're like, okay, we're going to go deep into community, we need all these other things that just this is not available. Cool. Let's connect the Stan store now to our Circle community and just drive people there now, because now we can actually do the live streams and the office hours and all the things that are kind of more advanced when we get there, instead of starting with all those things and then just like using 1% of these tools. Am I kind of reading that correctly, John?
That's exactly it, right? So Stan is very modular is the term we use. So what that means is there is no my promise to you is if you're just starting out or if you've made less than $10,000, I would argue there's no better tool than Stan. Because that's why I built Stan was because I was trying to make my first $10,000. And so in that, just sign up for the free trial and you'll see how simple and easy it is to just like get started. I would time yourself and I bet you can do it in less than 10 minutes. And then from there, how I think about optimizing your stack over time, independent of Stan, is let's say you want something super custom for your community. The first question I actually ask is like, do you actually need that, or is that like something
Mm,
that is that actually something your customer wants that actually affects the retention versus what's like the core mechanic that actually matters? But independent of that question first, exactly how Pat's saying it is, Stan interoperates really, really well with any other service, right? So Stan is just like your central hub; it's your home. And so if you want to connect your circle, you can do so with Zapier, what have you. If you want to connect any sort of service here, like they're all they all work with Stan. And worst case, you can just add a link for that
yeah.
specific product SKU option there. But I think the most healthy businesses online that I've seen are very similar to Pat's. Like I think the team has obviously done a really thoughtful job there. You have different price points for different kind of parts of your audience. And so Stan is always going to be best for 90% plus of your audience that's not ready to purchase that really high ticket thing or go into that really complex thing that you want to dream up. That's where you're like top 1 to 2% of people. And everyone else, you should be maximizing the conversion on the freebie or like the low ticket item. And that's what Stan is hyper focused on
Mhm.
optimizing conversion wise.
Amazing. There's a lot of questions about the CRM. I don't want to show you my customer list because it's, information I don't want to share, like
Right.
emails and such. But I can just show you, I can just tell you that it's, I see the name, the email, when they since last either logged in or purchased something, how many purchases they have. I can click on a record like Harvey's here, and I can see exactly which courses they got or where they're at in them, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm pretty stoked to see the digital downloads they have as well, how much money they've spent with me. So it's like exactly what you might need to start out with. With email, this is a good question. We'll finish with this one, or these last two actually. Will it allow email follow-ups? So can you build an autoresponder sequence?
Yes.
Yes, you
So
can.
anytime you sell anything, there's a confirmation email and you can edit that. At our pro tier for $99 a month, you can do full email drips. And so that would be, you would basically, it's like a separate tab within Stan. Pat, I'm curious if this account has it. If you go to more on the left tab, you should have it. So like, yeah, email flows you can turn on for
Oh,
yourself.
cool.
And basically, yeah, you can see that graphic is the perfect example. Basically, what you're allowed to do in Stan is as soon as someone purchases something, or if they give you your email or sign up for a freebie, whatever it is, you
Hmm.
can just drip that email follow ups for the next 14 days, 500 days, like whatever you want to do, is you can do within Stan. And so that's a good way. People talk a lot about funnels and upsells. That's a good way to do that within Stan.
But you also said if you create like our How to Win with Webinars course, the sort of automated email that gets sent out, that's not a part of the pro plan. That's just like built in, right? It's
Correct.
option
And you can
option.
drip your courses as well. Like, yeah,
Oh,
it's the
confirmation email.
confirmation.
Here it is.
Yeah, and you
Cool.
can
Oh,
update that.
perfect. This is wonderful. That's where I thought it would be anyway. So that's perfect. Okay, last question here, and we'll finish up. This has been really helpful, John. Thank you so much, and just again, really impressed every time. This is why we switched over to this on our socials, and for me, even on the Pokemon stuff, because it's just so easy to use. The last question is coming from Shelly, and somebody plus one this, and that question is, let me bring this up here. Can we use this to sell physical products to replace platforms like Etsy and Shopify? I have a response, but I'd love to hear you first.
So my short answer is theoretically yes. Like you can sell anything on Stan, but my honest answer is I would recommend using Shopify or Etsy for physical products because they're so much more optimized for that. Basically on Stan, when I say you can sell anything, it's like there's a service. Basically, there's a bunch of different products you can do, and then there's one that's like a catch-all. It's like anything else, basically, is what it's called. And so you can include a form field for address and T-shirt size or whatever you want to do, and you can do that if you'd like to.
Hmm.
I just having used Shopify back in the day when I was a kid doing my first ever e-commerce store, I would highly recommend that for physical products. And I just want you guys to use like the best thing for your specific use
Yeah.
case.
I would agree with that as well. I mean, I use Stan Store to then point to my merch store. So, I mean,
Yep.
it's an extra step, yes, but I mean, hypothetically, you could connect these things a little bit more direct. But at the same time, like specifically Etsy, you got to remember Etsy is a marketplace. There are people searching there as well. You don't want to lose that benefit of being in the marketplace where these things are for sale too. I can imagine somebody, however, being in Etsy, also on Amazon, and directly market on their stand store as well. And that might be the best case scenario. So you can cover sort of all three things. So anyway, John, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. Everybody, go check out Stan and try it out. You can try it out for
Yeah.
free for 30 days. If you go to smartpassiveincome.com/Stan, it's a free month that you get if you go through us. And that's something that you, I don't think, can get anywhere else. It's a special deal that we've partnered with together. And so, John, thank you so much. Any final parting words for the new creators out there to help them, start to generate revenue and build that business?
Yeah. Two things. I think if you follow this advice, you will be successful. It's just if whether or not you will follow this advice. One is, so at this point we've seen how the data on who's successful. Like I get to work with very, very successful careers at this point, people who started from literally nothing. I'll tell the story of Abigail P really quickly. Her husband had a stroke 3 years ago, and unfortunately, he was the sole breadwinner at the time, lost his job because of that.
Mm.
And so Abigail went into full like super mom mode, which any mom would do. She was like, I got to take care of my kids and also my family. And so she just started creating content on TikTok. She was doing UGC at the time on the side, and she started posting about how do you do UGC and make a living from that. She's now crossed, since she's evolved her business immensely, she's now crossed $2 million, retired her husband, taking care of her family, gets to be present with her family while also building a business. I give that example. You guys know Pat's story. My story is very similar, coming from an immigrant mom, what have you. I will tell you that there's only a single consistent pattern with anyone who has actually made it. And it's just that they never gave up. And so as I think about the hardest parts of the journey that I had personally starting to make content online, it's you versus you. It's your own emotional insecurities. It's like, it's so terrifying to put yourself online. I remember my first ever video took me like 3 hours to film, and then I hated it. And then I think I redid it the next day because I like hated how I looked or how I sounded, all that kind of stuff. What I can tell you for a fact is that people who actually make it and really want to change their life, they're the ones who just commit every single day to posting. And then the second piece of this is iterating. So they observe, they commit to themselves, I'm going to do this for 30 days, or I'm going to do 100 posts. I guarantee if you do 100, you'll be successful. I'm going to commit to doing this. And then I'm going to look back every week and I'm going to say, like, okay, of these 7 things, or of these 5 things, or of these 2 things, what, like, one of these or 2 of these actually hit. And so what was the trend line behind that? Why did that hit? And then you just double down and you iterate on that. You just keep improving that. You turn it into a series or a pattern, what have you. And that, y'all, is like just business success in general. It's just like, I'm going to go do stuff. I'm going to try not to get emotionally attached to it because it's really hard because you're human. And then I'm going to iterate off of that. And if you just do that and you promise yourself to do that, I can personally promise you, like, I will, if you promise to do that and you sign up for Stan and for some reason you're not successful, if you're like, John, I actually posted 200 times and I tried to do the Stan store and you show me that, and for some reason you weren't successful, which you will be, I'm happy to I will tell the team, me, like, please refund their whole subscription, all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
I just have so much confidence. I've seen the data. I know it for myself, my own personal story. Y'all, just, if you're watching this webinar and you follow Pat, there's clearly something you're looking for more in your life. If you just commit to this, like, don't let the excuses and, I don't have enough time, you have to make the time. If you just commit to this, I promise you, you will be successful.
Man, John, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody watching live. I appreciate it. I know there's some additional questions, but I'm sure the support and other people out there who use the platform would be able to help you as well. And we're here to help as well, too. So thank you so much, John. Appreciate it. smartpassiveincome.com/Stan. Go there, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.